Okay, are there any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Will that be an issue for you for the rest of your life just because you have that extra foot and a half? Will you always have to be careful of eating easily digested or
Yes.
non-allergic food?
They told me to break my meals down into smaller portions so that it can easily digest through rather than overwhelming the intestine at one time.
Is that common?
It is not common. It's not common. But they said that it can happen from just overeating. It just like stretches itself out over time. And then it also is from just a genetic issue that can happen too. So
Do they think eventually if it gets, could it possibly lose some of its room and kind of get twisted and knotted?
yeah, that's what they thought that some of the issues were from, was because it's a floating organ. It's not like structured to anything, that it would loop around. Well, then there'd be food stuck in the loop.
Yeah.
So then that's where the pain would come from.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because I was wondering that too. So you didn't have it removed.
I didn't have it removed. They said you can't remove it because there's too many nerves and everything connected to it. I mean, you can, but it's just more...
In an emergency.
Yeah, in an emergency situation, yeah, you can remove it, but he said, why don't you just try to eat smaller meals, reduce the lactose, because that's what's stalling everything up, was the lactose trying to overwork, and then
So
the
now
food
you
was
said you're
getting stuck.
pregnant and you can eat dairy.
Because my hormones have changed, how I digest things.
So that's the question here then too. After you're not pregnant, and you said also in your little speech that when you get older,
Yeah.
that enzyme leaves or breaks down more. So this may lessen for you the older you get.
Yes, so it could become worse. Yeah.
Become worse.
Yes.
Oh.
Because when you're born, you have all these enzymes that help you break down the lactose and the lactate. And then as you age, you lose those. And that's also what, like, they'll push probiotics in older people. They'll tell you to eat more yogurt, eat more so you're more regular. But since I can't have that, I need to take a probiotic pill. Because I can't have the lactose that breaks down, or I don't have the lactose cell that breaks things down. So as you age, you might notice that you're having a reaction to milk, or you're having a reaction to peanuts, or because your body is changing constantly, and as you age, you lose cells.
Well, I know some people will have folks that had an issue in a friend of ours where they did have to go in and take out about a foot and a half.
Yeah.
Because it kinks and it
That happens with diverticulitis too. Like
Well,
if
that's what
you
I was
have,
saying. Michelle did. She had to have part of her colon removed
Okay.
because she has diverticulosis.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's just like pivots in your intestines.
Because you've got miles of it
Mhm.
anyway, so you can get by with
Yeah,
missing a part.
yeah, but it was funny to see that all of a sudden I have an extra foot and a half of colon. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
And you said that could just grow?
It can just stretch out as you grow. So.
Or you could have just been born that way.
Or you could have been born with it, yeah. But I remember when I was younger, I always had stomach issues too, and Mom would have to come and get me from school, and they thought I had an ulcer then too. So I'm
That's
wondering
right.
if it was just that issue then growing too, because I was growing then essentially too. So
But
that's
the fact that you're pregnant and you can eat milk now or dairy
Yeah.
product because you have that extra enzyme somehow.
For the
because
baby.
my body's producing much
Yeah.
more.
And then when you're not pregnant more, you probably go back to.
Probably, yeah.
You never know though, it could change for the
I
better.
hope so.
Well, that was very interesting and informative.